Okay. Remember, guys, sales is a transferable skill. Once you master this stuff, you can pretty much write your own ticket and choose your own job, choose your own people you want to work with. I've been doing that for over 20 years. Marco's just like Sir Marco's just one of the latest people I've got to work with because I chose to. I reached out to him on this occasion. I said, look, love what you're doing. So this is a transferable skill. And these 10 steps in front of you, a skill that you can use for life, right? These 10 steps in front of you are an accumulation of 38 years of my work and my team's work, taking out what works, watching thousands of calls to see what works, what doesn't work. I've read over 500 books, webinars, sales courses, so you guys don't have to, right? Because I've put it all into this system. And this system we haven't really touched or evolved much in about 4 or 5 years. We've tweaked it here and there, and every campaign has its own nuances, but this has been the core system for about 4 or 5 years now. Okay. And it works well. It works with any high ticket offer on a Zoom call like this. Okay. So who's excited today to finding out steps 4, 5, and 6? Let me see on the chats, guys. Thank you, Denise. And so yesterday, guys, what did we cover? Steps 1, 2, and 3. Do you remember on the video, unconscious rapport? How is Florida treating you today? Do you remember that, guys? Let's see on the chat. How's Florida treating you today? And every single client lights up. Even if they're having a terrible day and it's raining outside, they all light up because we're honoring them, right? We're honoring them right from the get-go. And I've seen that thousands of times. So I know this stuff works. And I hope you guys got that yesterday. As soon as we focus on the client, I'm from Florida. Florida, how's Florida treating you today, right? Bang, smile, okay? Asking permission, number 2, step number 2. And remember, guys, mastery is the brother of repetition, or repetition creates mastery, right? So we've got to repeat this stuff to embed it in our unconscious mind. So number 1 yesterday, unconscious rapport, super powerful. Number 2 yesterday, asking permission to jump into the call. Again, respectful, gets another yes, makes the client feel that they're working with a professional. We don't want to be doing that small talk with someone you've just met. It's not productive. For me, it's a little bit fake. How's the weather? How's the fishing? The holidays? We don't know each other yet, right? And what the client wants the most from a closer is professionalism. They want us to be professionals so that they can entrust their problems with us and help them find a solution. All right, so asking permission to jump into the call. Number 2, do you remember that, guys, yesterday? Do you remember that on the video? It works, right? Number 3, the opening statement. Do you remember Elaine yesterday, guys, on the opening statement? Super professional, right? She just came, she's very nice, very warm, then bang, clicked into the opening statement. Super professional, right? Yes, she is smooth. She wasn't always, Denise. And people that start with us, they that first it's a little bit awkward, but we build these people, we build it up with layers, 1 sentence, 2 sentence, 1 sentence, 2, 3 sentence, repeat, right? Everybody does it, it embeds. And before you know it, like Elaine, she roared out the gates with the opening statement, right? So opening statement, super powerful. And we have this all written out for you in the scripts, okay? Good money, more than your average bet, right? But when you're average or you're just starting out, commission only, that's what you could be if you're not practicing your art. So the school sessions are so important, and being trained before you go live is so important. And that's what I'm here for. I will not let anyone go live, right, until you feel you're ready. I feel you're ready, right? And we both conclude that you're now ready, right? Okay. And as we're working in a group coaching environment, everybody can see and learn together. And it's great experience because it's public speaking as well in a comfortable, safe space, right? We're going to build that knowledge in a comfortable space together and grow that. So when you go out there, you're going to be killers. And today I've got an example of someone who's just started out in sales, right? Just started out in sales. And the guy he was talking with, presenting to, was an experienced salesperson. And the experienced salesperson was going, man, I love work, what you've done. I know exactly what you're doing there. But and feels so good to be in the hands of such an experienced professional salesperson. The guy had been just started. It was his first week, Zain Akbar. I don't know if you remember him. It was Zain's first week. And if you look at Zain's reaction when he says that, Zain's actually quite surprised, like, well, really? I've just started. Because we will, even if you're just starting out, you will be ready. Okay, guys? Do you like that? Does that make sense? You don't want to go out there when you're not ready, do you? You want to go out there when you are ready. You feel ready. I feel that you're ready and you're good to go. Okay. Does that make sense, guys? You want to be exactly, Denise, and you will be. I promise you that. Okay. Done this hundreds of times now, guys. Anybody that shows up with the right attitude, we can do this. Okay. Let's recap the 3 steps that we learned over the past 3 days. Repetition is the mother of all mastery. Okay. And this is such a worthwhile skill to master. So pay attention, guys and girls, because we're just going to recap quickly, okay? Unconscious rapport, that's what we learned. How is XXX London, Florida treating you today? Do you remember the responses from the clients? Yeah, immediately they're smiling, okay? What does that do? That gets them into a good state so that they open up and speak with you, okay? Super important, right? Asking permission to jump straight into the call. Again, simple, but many people don't do this. Okay, but always ask permission to jump into the call because that will be that's respectful. It's honoring the client again, and it's showing them that you're a pro. You want to get down to business, which then the opening statement, you are in business, right? Like Elaine yesterday, she's all very cute, very tea and cookies, right? Then all of a sudden, bang, opening statement, professional, okay? And that sends a message to your client that you are a professional in this conversation, okay? Super important, first 3 steps. Now, question time. Once we've done the 3 steps, what's next? What's after the first 3 steps? Let's see if you guys are with me. What's after the first 3 steps? Why do we do these 3 steps? What does it give us? The ability to do very well. Denise, out the gate, look at you. Qualification, absolutely. Form that trust bubble, absolutely. Build trust, Alison Barnes, correct. Jessica Freed, discovery, absolutely. Discovery is another word for qualification. Yeah, we're going to discover more, qualify more. Qualification is a bit old hat, to be honest with you. Discovery, it makes good sense. Respect, building rapport. These things happen, Naila, with the building rapport and the qualification happens. And the key thing is we want the client to open up and start talking and sharing intimate, personal, business details to a complete stranger, guys, right? It's the basis of a one-call close. Why would someone pay $5,000, $10,000 on the first call with you? And tomorrow I'll show you these on the first call with someone if they don't trust you. It's a deep level of trust. And getting the client to speak, I'm going to change the slide here, guys. Getting the client to speak, okay, is what the qualification was right. So you guys are totally on point there. Denise, Naila, Jamila, Stella, Jessica, you're all on the right track, right? Discovery, okay? What are the main problems that we solve for this client? What are the main things that we solve, okay? Because pain motivates more than gain. Write this down, guys, because it might appear later in the quiz. Pain is more motivational than gain. From frustration comes change, okay? If someone is frustrated, they're in pain, they will make a change about that. Now, what most rookie closers don't do is talk about the pain because It's painful. It's awkward, right? So in the qualification, what I teach our closers to do is we have a series of questions, and they're not all sequential. They're used when you need them to, essentially, because the client might go this way, might go that. We focus on the pain and the gain in the qualification. Okay. Best teacher is paying my pain, paying my bills. Maybe you want to join the rock stars, and we can change that, right? Pain is personal, absolutely, Kathy, and it's painful. Now, I'll give you an example of pain. Now, pain motivates more than gain. Remember that. That's important. Okay. If you have a toothache, you will go, it's a bad enough toothache. You're not going to sit around. You're going to phone that dentist, take action and go there. Right. From discomfort comes change, from frustration comes change. So we will pick a topic with a client. We have various in our script, and we agitate that pain a little bit for their own good, right? Not that we're evil, right? Although I know some closers that potentially could fall under that bracket. Not that we're evil and we want to see anyone in pain. No, it's the contrary. By bringing up the pain, we're actually going to help these people make some change in their lives. All right. Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? If we're bringing up the pain, then we can, if they're being honest, then we can actually help them. Okay. So we focus. Yeah. We can help offer a solution. Alison Barnes, spot on. We can help offer a solution when we know their pain. We can't just go to someone and say, right, you should have that. Right. And I see this all the time. You should have this product because it's this, it's that, and it's this. And it'll do this for you, and it'll do that for you. And they don't know jack or anything about the client. Right. I see it all the time. We as closers, as problem solvers, we got to bring up that problem.